take you to Canada and Scott Dartnall.
I started, by the way, thank you very much for coming today. I mean, there's a lot of other options for you to do, and just very honored to be sitting in front of you here. I got into massage therapy about 22 years ago. I was in the health industry, health food industry. I was really into fitness, and my company was closing down. And I thought, you know, this is, you know, I talked to my family. At that time, I was engaged. My wife, I said, "What does everybody think about me going back to school?" The response wasn't very strong, but I decided that if I was going to make a change, this was the time to do it. And my cousin was a massage therapist. He's one of the first 2,200-hour massage therapists in Ontario, and but he had done a lot of sports work, was very connected. It was literally a month before the school year was going to start. So he was connected with some of the massage school owners, and he made a call for me, and I was able to get an interview the next day. And you know, 22 years later, I'm happy that the universe created that opportunity for me to get into massage. At the time I went in, I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't really appreciate where I was and a lot of my instructors. A lot of my instructors now have turned out to be kind of the original builders of massage in Canada, and it's funny sometimes you're so caught up as a student trying to make sure you're keeping up that you're not present when you're in class. You're not really thinking about where you are and your experience. And I really encourage students is to really think about. I know each day is sometimes a bit of a grind, but school will be one of your greatest experiences. And it's one of your greatest investments of your time and your money. And I really encourage you to make sure that, you know, as Mike says, you honor your teachers. You honor your school. What I find in our industry, a lot of massage therapists don't go back and help support their school. I think it's really important that alumni help their school in the area of encouraging other people to get into massage, but also help them in other ways, whether they're offering continuing education. So I got into massage. I finished this program. I have a lot of debt, and I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to go? So a friend of mine said, listen, I know this doctor, he's looking for somebody. So I look at this address. I said, that address is kind of familiar. It's across from where my wife-to-be works. It's a giant medical center. And there's like 30 doctors in there. I think, oh, this isn't going to work out. They never used massage, no massage therapists in there. But this doctor was a businessman. He rented me this room, and he said, we'll see what this guy can do. And he just started referring me clients. And I couldn't handle all this, so I recruited a couple of my friends from school. I said, listen, there's some business here. I know you're not that busy. Come on and work with me. And then within a year, I was running a clinic. And then within 2 years, I had a chiropractor, a physiotherapist, a craniosacral therapist, and acupuncturist working for me. And then I had 5 athletic therapists, and I had 2 chiropractors and 2 physiotherapists working for me. And we really worked well together. And I find it funny 22 years later that people say, well, chiros and massage and people that we're so different, we can't work together. Our strength is when we work together. Our practice, like chiropractic, is not kind of part of the contemporary medical model. I mean, we're kind of over here, and you know, doctors and physiotherapists. And I think it's really important that we make sure that we're connected with other, you know, healthcare practitioners that have a similar mindset that we do. And there's a lot of great opportunities. So I was running all these clinics, and then I moved from that clinic, and I opened up a bunch of clinics and gyms, and that was going along fine, and then business just changed, and business changes. And I was going to move on out of massage, and a friend of mine contacted me and said, listen, I wanted to get together, why don't we get together and form this mastermind group, which I thought was hysterical, because I never thought of myself as a mastermind. And I connected with these other people in our industry, other massage therapists. And this one was Eric Brown, another friend of mine, Don Dillon, and Melanie Hayden. And I said, well, let's start this thing. There's a lot of people in the massage industry, like James Waslaski and other people that we want to talk to. So we created this thing called Massage Therapy Radio. So we basically just started, cold calling famous therapists and people in the industry and say, listen, we'd like to talk to us. And funny enough, 9 out of 10 said yes. So we started that, and then we got invited down, that's probably about 5-6 years ago, down to AMK National Convention, massage therapy. We were ready to walk around and interview people. And on that drive back from that, Eric and I said, you know, why don't we turn this into something bigger, which we did, which was the World Massage Conference, which was an online conference. So that started to go along, and we started to make a little bit of an extra income. We were still doing, Eric was already doing full-time marketing for massage therapists. I was still doing massage on the side. And then my son was going to require a kidney transplant. His health started to deteriorate, and ended up to the point where he had to have that kidney transplant. So I could no longer work. I couldn't go to the clinic anymore. He was off full-time. I was driving to appointments all the time. And what happened to me is that I thought, well, you know, we had this opportunity to take over this Canadian massage conference. I thought, well, that'll take less time, you know, maybe make a little bit of an income on that. And I called Angie Patrick, and I said, listen, I'm thinking, I think we could do this again in the United States, maybe start another conference as well. You know, we'd be willing to back you in that. And 5 years later, we're running the American and Canadian Massage Conference. And being, I look at that obstacle of having to basically quit my job because of my son being ill, having to be with him, as a huge opportunity for me. And massage has given me all these opportunities. I think a lot of time there's a lot of, as you know, a lot of people get into massage and get out of massage. It's a fairly high percentage turnover every year. And I really encourage you, when you walk around that trade show floor, you'll meet a lot of massage therapists that work for companies and have great opportunities outside of the clinic. So I encourage you to, if you ever get yourself in a position that you feel like, oh, I can't continue in massage therapy, I'm not sure if I can make it, send me an email. And I love to talk to you, because there are so many paths that you can take in this industry and be successful. So thank you very much.